Hey there, my name is Liza, and welcome to your astrology for Capricorn season. This is actually going to be double recorded on an Insight Timer live, so I'm currently looking down at my screen, but I'm going to go ahead and add more things in editing. But yeah, this will be an Insight Timer live. So this will be an Insight Timer live, and I'm super excited to share what's in store. If you enjoyed it or if you were part of that Insight Timer live, you now have the full recording. And I thank you again for joining me. And I'm just going to pause the Zoom because I am using Zoom as well as the live. And then we can go ahead and dive on into the current reading. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, welcome as we tune on in. Beautiful. Let me know if it's your first time here. Let me know where you are tuning on in from in the world. Hopefully, hello, Shannon from Washington State. Let me know if you are a Capricorn and it is your birthday this month. My husband is a Capricorn and he is celebrating his birthday in a week or so. But happy New Year. I almost said happy birthday, Kiana. Happy New Year, Kiana. Hello, hello. Hello, guys. Hello, Jeff from California. Welcome. Hello, Sharon and Sherry. Hello, Davina. Hello, Davina's from Argentina. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Sherry, welcome. Heather from St. Augustine, Florida. I love it, Heather. Melanie, Happy New Year from LA. Beautiful. Sharon, hello from Puerto Rico. I am, my mom is de Puerto Rico, de Isabela. So welcome, Sharon. And Sharon's in Aquarius. Beautiful. Audrey, hello, San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, and let me know. Let me know if you guys, what your star signs are so far. Aquarius, Capricorn, Libra, Aries, Taurus, Pisces is Audrey, Virgo, so Sharon. Beautiful. As we tune on in, Michaeli says Aries, baby. Davina says Libra. Sherry says Libra. Joanne says, good evening from Toronto. Also a Libra. Beautiful. Susan says Cancer. Love it. Happy and healthy New Year from New Jersey, Puerto Rico in the house. Beautiful. Oh, Coamo es mi pueblo. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, Vida. Welcome. Then we have Pisces, Aries, cusp, Melanie. Beautiful. Beautiful. Jeff is a Cancer. Beautiful. Aina is a Scorpio. I love it. Danny's Aries. Bridget is from Melbourne and a Virgo. I love it. There's a lot happening with Virgo and Pisces, so I'm really excited to get on into that. Gemini as well. But here we are in the new year within this Capricorn season. So Capricorns are the signs where we tend to want to go to for practical advice, where we want to ask them, how do we best build this, whatever we wish to do, on a solid, healthy foundation? And they're cardinal signs, which means they begin at the beginning of this new season. So every cardinal sign begins at the beginning of a season: winter, spring, summer, fall. So Capricorn is right at the beginning of winter. And they are beginning and they have that lively energy of like, let's start, let's do it. New year, new me, even though it doesn't really feel like that with the stars right now, but we'll get on into that. But there is this energy with Capricorn and Capricorn season of let's be ambitious and let's get things done. The bright side of Capricorn: very loving, very giving, very committed, very into, I would say, again, being the logical one in the group, being the one to, and you know, if you watch Scooby Doo, it's like pulling the mask off the person saying, no, 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 it's not. Or if you watch Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp and, Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, it's like, no, 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 there's some logic to this. There has to be some logic to that. That's the beauty of Capricorn. If you need logic, Capricorn's there. The hard part of Capricorn is sometimes they can be so logical. They have a hard time just understanding that there are certain things within the world that can be unexplained, and we still have question marks to some of these things. They can be stubborn, like Taurus, like, Virgo as well. And Leo, I feel, can be a bit on the, and Aries can be a bit on the stubborn side. But Capricorn joins the stubborn bunch of zodiac signs. They're not exactly as fluid. And then you have, because they're very earthy, they love the idea of, money and luxury and hard work. That's a beautiful thing in terms of bureaucracy and how that world or how our world works, especially our Western society. But if we get too caught up in the money and the bureaucracy and the luxury, you tend to get lost in the sauce of what matters underneath, the skin and bones of things. So I would say Capricorn, Libra, and Tauruses can all love a little bit of luxury. A little bit of luxury. It depends. Libra, you can go either way, but Libra doesn't mind a little bit of, a little bit of art, a little bit of beauty, a little bit of wining and dining. That's kind of the energy there. So here we are in this Capricorn season. If you're a Capricorn, you tend to resonate with this. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, so let's dive on into where we were leaving Capricorn season. So on December 29th, in the midst of Capricorn season, Chiron went direct. What does that mean? Chiron is the asteroid that is the wounded healer. It has gone direct, which means Earth has kind of passed this asteroid. And we're seeing slowly that it looks like, okay, Chiron is back on track. It no longer is going backwards anymore. Earth is here, Chiron's there, and it kind of looks like it's moving a bit forward. So no longer in this position where Chiron is backward. In Aries, that's an interesting thing. So if you are in Aries, the idea of internal healing and a lot of internal active work when it comes to healing is going to be a theme, depending on where that is. For Aries, it may be in, wherever it is within your houses, not necessarily your sun sign. But for Aries, it very much will be a part of our identity, possibly, and how we heal from the inside out. For those of you who have Aries rising, yeah, this is definitely going to be huge identity, huge shifts when it comes to how do I actively learn and heal and become also, maybe for some of you, a teacher, but teach from your past wounds, from the past pain. Chiron is a bit of a lotus flower. It evolves from that place of the muck and heals from there. So Jennifer says Pisces, question mark. Let me know, Jennifer, Pisces, question mark. Yeah, Pisces is coming into play because we're going to talk about a Saturn return in Pisces, but we're getting there. Looking back at my notes, half are written and half are typed. So yeah, so we have that going on the 29th. Shar says, I'm an Aries with Chiron in my chart. Let me know where it is in your chart, where Chiron is in your chart, Char, and I could tell you a little bit about, and we could use you as a teaching example of how it may affect. But when Chiron is going direct, we are no longer internally healing, we are outwardly healing. And the circumstances in life are going to kind of come at us in order for us to kind of look at the ways of healing. So those are those themes with Chiron. So there was this bit of a slowdown in December. There was this bit of let's, heal actively. Maybe some of us decided not to go to every single Christmas party or decided to take things a little bit slower this Christmas season. Oh, Shar says Chiron in the 11th house in Taurus. So there's a bit of healing within your wishes, within what you wish to manifest, within your, I would say, connections in a sense, because third house is like siblings and connections, but I would say 11th house is very much your significant connections. So a bit of healing there, those people that you met. Hello, Denise. Hello. Denise says, oh, Chiron and Aries in my second house. So a lot of healing around money, Denise, how you actively heal around money. So that's kind of what's going on. I did feel a bit of a slowdown within the stars, especially I believe Neptune was making a weird aspect with Mars. I believe it was squaring Mars, and it was almost this energy of sludge because Mars is in retrograde. I don't know how I feel about Mars in retrograde, but the symbolism behind Mars in retrograde is the idea that, again, we're not actively coming at things. It's not the new year, new me, let's go. It's more of like, how do I do this from an internal place? How do we plant the seeds and go, new year, new me, but from the inside? Like, grow from the inside out. It's not so active. It's not so in your face. So that's kind of how we're diving on in. Denver's like, I have the moon in my 12th house. Ooh, psychic energy, Denver. Yes, very much. So Denise says, oh, the Mars in retrograde for me means to change up my approach. Yes, it does. Yeah, that could be if we are, Mars is in Cancer currently, if we are the type of individuals who are very, I'm going to say me, very active, very go-getting. We like to come at the problem. Mars retrograde, again, isn't comfortable for that approach because it's more of, why don't we step back? Sometimes silence can be the best action. Sometimes not saying what you need to say is the best action. Sometimes internally healing, especially with Mars in Cancer, is the best action. I don't love Mars in Cancer because it can be very emotionally impulsive. So crimes of passion, for example, can be a thing. This idea of I felt this way, so I'm going to react in this way versus acting in this way. Hello, everyone. So that is kind of our ending of December. It's a little, the energy within the stars, the conversation within the stars are literally saying, please slow down. Please slow down. Because there are different ways to heal that don't necessarily need to be so active. We don't need to, scream at the stars right now. We may need to meditate or journal right now. We may need to pause. And I'm not saying that as like a shameless plug. I'm saying because that's Mars retrograde. But if Mars was direct in Leo, like I said last time, it's like, this is the time. It was direct in Leo. And that was the time to kind of actively come out and say, this is who I am. And this is what it's about. And I'm going to let myself arrive with Mars in Leo. I actually like that a lot personally. But with Mars and Cancer going in retrograde, it's like, slow down before you hurt yourself. That's the energy I'm kind of getting. Brad says, yeah, like my coasting, try not to make a habit of that. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, I think this is definitely Mars for those of us who, and again, feel free to share where your Mars is in your chart. If we are used to the energy of Mars being direct, if we love that energy, if Mars is one of the main players in our charts, maybe you're a Scorpio or an Aries, or maybe it's within, maybe you're a Scorpio or Aries rising, or one of the planetary positions in your chart. It's very Mars heavy. Yeah, it can feel a bit like I don't have the energy. I want to stay in bed and I want to relax. Which is okay. I think we need that. So Kristen shares Mars in Virgo in the 12th house. Oh, very interesting. Oh, that's such an interesting aspect, Kristen. So Mars in Virgo, again, I think in the 12th house, there is this idea around, because Virgo, and we're going to talk about Virgo very soon. Virgos are the goddess, in a sense, the humanitarian in a very aesthetically pleasing way. The age of Virgo was very much the 1960s, and, it was Libra and Virgo, and it was like the flower children, 1970s as well, the flower children. It was disco. It was like, and then it was like, the Beatles. And don't get me wrong, Virgos get stuff done. Virgos definitely get stuff done, but they do it in a very precise, balanced way, very much similar to Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't much care about the aesthetics. Capricorn's like, let's just get it done. Virgo is like, let's get it done in a very pleasing and beautiful way. Beyonce is a Virgo. So there you go. In your 12th house with Mars, it's like you like to act or more importantly, you like to act within the realm. The 12th house is the unknown, the psychic, the subconscious, the death. Eighth house is transformation, but I also feel 12th house is a little bit of death and transformation. But there's almost like this very active possible psychic energy a little bit there, I feel, because it's so action oriented in the planet of Virgo. But yes, and Mars and Capricorn in the ninth house. Loves travel, loves traveling. So Sharon says, love, yeah, Sharon, you love travel, but I would say active travel. And you like to go, you don't mind spending a little extra for the 4-star hotel or the 4-star to 5-star experience, especially when it comes to travel, learning, philosophy, beautiful action oriented when it comes to your work ethic, when it comes to learning, things like that. So yeah, but let's go ahead and get to January now. So January, enter Venus. Venus is in or goes into the planet of Pisces. It's very comfortable there. This is a great time for love, creativity, compassion, spiritual connection. I think if we are coming from this energy of slowing down, Venus in Pisces is that much more nurturing, that much more cozy. For those of you who are Pisces or your Venus happens to be in Pisces and it's kind of like a Venus return, it is this beautiful energy of like, let's sit down with our stuffed animals and talk about our feelings. Talk about our feelings and cry a little and feel. And I know for some of you, it's like, but it's actually great for romance. It's great for dates. January the 3rd, for those of you, if you had any intentions or set any intentions around romance or relationships or money, this is a great time because Venus is entering Pisces. So we're going to be a little bit more into self-expression, emotional self-awareness, as well as the idea around just kind of being compassionate, a little bit more compassionate within our relationships. And wellness tools, I wrote, wellness tools practice acts of compassion towards yourself and others, engage in creative spiritual activities like painting, journaling, meditation, and you can use stones like rose quartz and amethyst to amplify the idea of like self-love and your intuition, because I feel that Scorpios, Pisces, Virgo, they tend to be very psychic signs. Scorpio, Pisces, Virgo, I would say Cancer as well. They can be a little bit more on the on that level. Then we go into January the 6th, which is today. So again, as we were talking about, Mars is going retrograde and it goes all the way retrograde into Cancer. Not my favorite position. Again, I don't love Mars in Cancer. I don't love a Mars retrograde, but I also am an Aries with a Sagittarius rising and a Sagittarius moon. So why would I like Mars and Cancer going retrograde? And what I mean by that is Aries are very action oriented. They're fire signs, as well as Sagittarius, very fiery, very action oriented, very, I want to go for things. Mars is an action-oriented planet. It feels very comfortable in Scorpio as well as Aries, and it doesn't mind Capricorn and Leo. That being said, in Cancer is very similar to Pisces, I would not say Cancers wear their emotions on their sleeves like Pisces, but I would say that they tend to feel deeply. And Scorpio, the other water sign, sibling of the trio, they feel deeply and they let people know how they feel. But Cancer is like, I won't let you know how I feel. I'm going to go in the bathroom and I'm going to feel everything I need to feel. And I'm going to punch my fist through the wall and I'm going to go, way. And then it's kind of, I'm going to take it back and I'm going to be like, I'm okay. And that's more Cancer. Mars in Cancer with the bombastic, let's do stuff with that energy. Again, instead of punching, a fist through the wall in private, you're more likely to like slam your fist down on someone else's car. So I don't really love this energy. Again, I would say this is a slow down, think before you react, go listen to Cancer and that feeling. Don't act out loud. Go internal, take it slow, take it steady, feel what you need to feel. On top of that, Mars is making an opposition to Pluto and Aquarius, and a lot of astrologers are talking about this. And I want to just take a little bit of the drama and the doom and gloom out of this and use it more as a wellness practice for ourselves. Mars going retrograde, making an opposition to Pluto, and we are in the age of Aquarius, where we are looking at humanitarian and the world and our collective system, and not just our individual needs, but our collective needs. It's giving very 1970s and 1968 again. Mars opposing it is this energy where it's like, how are you going to do it though? How are you going to do it? And how are you going to do it in an emotionally grounded way? While Aquarius is like, let's be innovative about this. Let's be different about this. Let's go into the science of it, the technology, as well as the humanitarian work. Mars in Cancer is saying, but how are you going to do that in a way where we're mindful of the feelings and everyone else's feelings? And how are we going to do that in a way where we are emotionally self-aware, not just of our own stuff, but how everyone, it's very much a collective energy. Mars can be overprotective and emotional and nurturing. It calls for assertiveness in creating emotional safety without being so direct. Wellness tools, or I should say wellness tools, are to channel emotions through maybe yoga and swimming or screaming into your pillow, but do not go off on that person on the grocery store line. It is not worth it. So guest, hello guest. I did not, let me know what you wish to share, or what you wish for me to share as well. And Kiana says, that sounded like my live I did last night. I love it, Kiana. Shar says, don't yell at that one coworker. Exactly. Davina says, I have Mars and Cancer in my 6th house. So 6th house of wellness, structure, and routine. Davina, I feel like you are the type of person that when it comes to your home, everything is like, I need to clean in order to feel good. I need to do something in order for my space to feel good. I see you, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a runner or some sort of nurturing self-care energy that's active, a little bit more active when it comes to your routines, your 6th house of giving of service, being very giving to others, being loyal to a fault. Let me know if you can resonate with any of that. And Ashley says Mars and Cancer in 1st house. So Mars and Cancer in 1st house is very much, you're going to be thinking a lot. I would say, Ashley, slow down. Slow down. I think this time, because it's in your 1st house, maybe a bit more emotionally raw around this time. So as everyone says, do the yoga practice, journal, write a letter you're never going to send. But this will probably focus more on the self, probably focus more on the realm of the self and how you see yourself and how you see yourself in this world. Oh, there you go. Denise says my Mars is in Pisces in 1st house. What does that mean? Well, Mars in Pisces in 1st house, Denise, and for those of you who can identify, Mars in Pisces in 1st house, and I know a little bit more about your chart, Denise, but I want to say that Pisces, 1st house, again, water sign, very nurturing, very wear your emotion on your sleeves, in love with the idea of love, or very much a lover, not a fighter. But because Mars is there, you can be an intense lover. It's very much like, I love you. And, don't you see what I mean? And it's the waves of emotions come a little bit more, I feel. So, yes. April says, did you talk about Aries yet? We'll get there. We'll definitely get there. We are going to get there, because on January the 8th, and we're with the lunar nodes, we're going to get there, but on January the 8th, Mercury in Capricorn. So Mercury is moving into Capricorn. I like this. It's a think before you talk kind of energy, because again, we're in Capricorn season. It's about planning. It's about getting grounded with our practical ideas. It's like, okay, I want to get to the top of the summit. That's my goal. How am I going to do that? Thinking about it, talking to others out loud about it in a strategic, great way. I love it. I like it. It's grounded. Mercury is okay in Capricorn. This is a great time to create the vision boards, create the to-do lists, break things down into small, easy steps. And then that I feel you can really use that energy coming up on January the 8th. And then we have the Virgo Pisces lunar nodes. So the Virgo Pisces lunar nodes, we are switching from Aries, Libra, south lunar nodes, to Virgo Pisces on January the 11th. So, and I will get to you, Aina, because I know you said Mars and Aries in seventh house. So that says a lot about how you love in relationships as well, specifically in relationships. But going off the Aries energy, there is this energy with Aries within the North Node. Our North Node is kind of our destiny, what we wish to do, what we wish to achieve, the top of the summit that we're going for. And that energy that drives us, the head of the dragon. And Libra is in the South Node. And I did not like this because I'm an Aries. My mother is a Libra. And there was a point in time where we were just like not seeing things the right way, or we're seeing things literally opposite ways, because Libra is like, I need to find balance in a way that may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. And this is how I'm going to find balance. Or Libra will not be in balance and then realize very clearly, oh, I am not in balance. And then you're going to really feel that energy come at you. Libra and South Node energy is about releasing a lot of old relationship patterns. 2024 was very relationship themed heavy. I would say 2025 is about embracing imperfection and authenticity. It's a very different energy going into this new year because it's more about us and our relationship to the world versus 2024, which was, I felt very, very relationship heavy. It was our relationship to ourselves. It was our relationship to our community, to others. Everything was like coming up relationship. And I was like, oh, this is going to be intense with relationships. The beautiful thing is, I feel if you made friends or relationships, if relationship milestones within 2024, those are going to be your friends for a very long time because those are your true, authentic friends. And if there are people that left your life in 2024, that is also for a very good reason. So we have that Libra South Node releasing the themes of relationships or bad spending habits or viewing the body or beauty in an unhealthy way or the vanity of things. But Virgo and Pisces says a different story. Pisces in the North Node is very different than Aries because Pisces is saying, who am I in alignment in this planet? Who am I in alignment in this world? I need that kind of spiritual grounding. And I need to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I need to be open. And Pisces is the type of sign that puts all cards on the table and is like, this is who I am. This is how I feel. This is what it is. And that's really refreshing from Aries, which is very goal oriented. Let's do it. Let's action verb. I am an action verb. Pisces is like, I feel, and I sense, and I'm getting a reading on it. Or I can feel a shift, a change in the air. That's Pisces energy. With the South Node in Virgo, it's all about releasing imperfection. I know a lot of you said you were Virgos. So the South Node will be in your chart, affecting you a bit more directly, depending on where it is. This year is all about, this is who I am. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. I see this year also being, if anyone came off as like the expert in something, they're going to get hammered. Just like last year, how I said relationships, if anyone is fake in the relationship or not for you, it's going to be shown right away. This year, if you try to come off as something more than you are, you're going to get hit a little with the karmic energy because we're supposed to be releasing that. Kiana's laughing. Kiana's like, I can't wait. Well, we're here on January the 11th. So that is what's happening with the lunar and south nodes. Pisces, again, I wrote my notes. Pisces North Node brings focus on spiritual awakening, compassion, dissolving boundaries between the material world and the mystical world. This is the time to cultivate imagination, emotional healing, faith on a collective level. And then Virgo in the South Node, the need to release perfectionism, excessive control, overanalysis. I'm sensing things with like cults this year for whatever reason, or like I'm very, if you are someone who works in wellness or health or life coaching, I would not be surprised if this is the year where some people are going to be called to be like, I don't need to be the expert in everything. I just need to share the many, many traditions that I have been so passionate about with you. And that's kind of it. Versus those who pretend to be the end all be all. I see that. I see this planting the seeds. It may not be this year, but eventually I see that eventually falling apart. Denise is like, so yeah. Affirmations for lunar North Node shift. I release the need for perfection and embrace the magic of trust, surrender, and spiritual growth. So that's what's kind of happening in the theme of things. Then on the 4th, we have the full moon in Cancer. And the full moon is conjoining Mars and trining Saturn and Neptune. All in Cancer. Okay. This full moon that's coming up is the time to journal, is the time to go on dates with those loved ones in your life, whether it be a friend or whether it be a lover, the people that lift you up, the people that make you feel grounded. This is not the time to act from a place of idealism. This is not the time to run off and elope with someone you met on the subway. This is not the time to sign that supposedly very good idea or invest in that very good idea. This is the time to come home and clean your house and maybe do a vision board. I hate that whole I hate that. I can't believe I just did that. I hate that whole, don't leave your home. No, leave your home. Don't do anything impulsive. This is not the time to do impulsive things, like the full moon in Gemini, not the time to do impulsive things, even though it may feel that way. With the Mars conjoining Saturn and Neptune all in Pisces, it's a really potential mix for a lot of emotions to be high, but also maybe emotional release, spiritual grounding, and then it's making a beautiful sextile to Uranus. So what I mean by sextile is it's a positive conversation, an auspicious conversation, and within the degrees. So if the world looks like or if our galaxy looks like a pizza pie, the moon and Uranus are sharing a beautiful slice and having a beautiful conversation about breakthroughs and innovation and emotional healing. There's a lot happening on this full moon. And I think it's going to be quite potential if we use this energy in a way, again, that isn't action oriented, but more internal action oriented. I would ask you a great journal question to ask yourself is, what do I feel truly in alignment with this upcoming year? What do I feel truly in alignment with on a soul level, a logical level, a heartfelt level? Because if there is an out of alignment, there's idealism and there's too much structure, there's impulsivity, and then you're trying to make it all be different and innovative, I feel that it can be like Jenga and you pull the wrong piece out and it all kind of doesn't go so well. So yeah, Candace's powerful start to the year. Very powerful. April says discernment. Yes. Candace says my moon is in Cancer. I'm going to sleep. Yes. Yeah. So it is that energy. And really quickly, it is that, and Vita said she did her vision board this weekend. Yeah, that's that energy that's coming on in for January. Venus on January the 19th, and that's kind of the last big thing we have. On January the 19th, Venus is conjoining Saturn in Pisces. I like this too. It's like from the 13th, we had a bit of an intense full moon in Cancer. because of all that's happening, like Mars is there partying and Saturn's there partying and Neptune's there partying, and they all have different ways of doing things. Mars is very action oriented. Saturn is like, let's learn the lessons. Neptune's like, let's dream the lessons. Let's dream our existence. It's like a lot of different energies coming to this party in Cancer, the zodiac sign of, again, like I shared, I'm not going to share my emotions out loud, but I will go into the bathroom and scream into my hand and cry for an hour because that's where I'm at. So very creative, very innovative, very beautiful energy, very healing energy, but intense, just because there's a lot coming to the party. But Venus conjoining Saturn and Pisces, this talks about, for those of you who maybe did meet that special person on the train, maybe not on the 13th, but I would say Venus conjoining Saturn and Pisces, sure, go for it. Go for the elopement, because this is about commitment on an emotional level, on an emotionally aware level. Venus and Saturn, Venus is like, I love love and passion and art and beauty and food and pleasure. And Saturn's like, I like to learn the lessons. I like responsibility. For those of you who are going through their Saturn return in Pisces, you are coming almost towards the end. You're halfway through it. Towards the end of the year, you'll finally start to feel a little bit of that relief or the lessons from Saturn. And for those of you who don't know what your Saturn return is you're either turning 30 or 60, or you're approaching your 80s. It happens 3 times within a lifetime on average. And it's this idea of learning lessons of responsibility and adulting and your particular adulting path. My brother-in-law's Saturn is in Pisces, and it's very much this lesson around emotions and emotional awareness. And I think many beautiful things can happen in a Saturn return, but it's also the lessons that need to be learned. My Saturn return was in Aquarius, and it began right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I was like, oh, okay, innovation. I also grew a lot more on Insight Timer, so that was pretty cool. So this Saturn return in Pisces, it brings this aspect of responsible emotional awareness, responsible self-care, responsibility in your relationships, responsibility within your commitments. It can also be this sign pointing to an energy around this, again, this intuition and these emotions. I wouldn't be surprised if some people with their Saturn return in Pisces, this particular Saturn return, it's like, I need to go, see a life coach or a therapist or someone to guide me in a nurturing way. With Venus conjoining Saturn and Pisces, it is this depth of commitment in relationships and depth of commitment within passion projects. It asks you to balance your dreamy, loving, passionate aspirations of love and Aphrodite with the grounded, realistic plans of Saturn. So reflecting on relationships, but also reflecting on relationship boundaries, practicing self-discipline when it comes to creative or spiritual pursuits, and, allow yourself to try or explore things around commitment, focused energy. So there we have it. April says, yep, I turned 60 this year. There you go, April. Happy Saturn return. Kenna says, that's where I learned mine. Yes. Yvonne says, hi, Bethany. Hello, everyone. Lady Lou, definitely thinking about what I feel aligned with this year. Yes. And that's it. That's our whole Capricorn season energy that's coming on in. I would say it's different than 2024's energy. 2024 was very bombastic and like, yeah, let's go. But I like 2025 more astrologically speaking than 2024. I like what the planets are talking about this year particularly. And I know a lot of people, it's kind of funny. My husband was saying, he's like, but aren't all astrologers saying every year like, oh, this is going to be the best year. This is going to be the best year. I think that the lessons of 2025 and what we are cultivating, it's going to be more about alignment and authenticity. I kind of like that more than about relationships, because relationships are hard in any aspect. So if you're dealing with colleague relationships or family relationships or romantic relationships or the relationship to the self, I feel like that can be a bit more overwhelming because there's just so much there to dive into versus alignment, authenticity. Who am I in this realm? What is my alignment? And how does that work with the world around me? I think it's an easier to digest theme for 2025. So I like it. I like it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go too crazy because I'm not going to be like it's going to be the best year ever or it's going to be the worst. It's going to be our year, and we do with it the best we can. We work with this energy and we always create gold. Denise says it will be a bunch. Bethany says 80% of this has gone over my head, but it just makes me more excited that I started learning and keep going. Oh, Bethany, thank you for sharing. And also, guys, ask me questions. Now is the time to ask me some questions. For those of you who are like, I got it, thank you, I'm going to hop off. Yes, please feel free to hop off. That is your reading. Or if you want me, I think it was Aina. Aina said, my Aries is in my 7th house. So really quickly, Aries in 7th house with Mars. Very passionate lover. Maybe you like to banter a little bit and be a little bit, I wouldn't say mean, but flirtatiously, like a little bit more playful and childish in a sarcastic kind of, sometimes comes off a little aggressive, sometimes a little bit mean way. Tell me if you identify with that, Aina. Very passionate. Aries, god of war. Mars, 7th house, you're passionate when it comes to relationships. Be mindful because relationships are very fluid. Be mindful that one cannot control everything. I think Aries and Mars in 7th house, it's like, why don't you love me? You must. And it's like, or SZA, I just killed my ex, not the best idea. That kind of energy going on. So just be mindful if you have your Mars in your 7th house and there's a water sign or in a fire sign, it can be a little intense. Air sign, because air signs aren't very great with commitment. They're very fluid. I think that Mars in an air sign isn't the worst. It just brings out some of the qualities that we either love or we don't like. And then earth signs tend to ground the energy. So yeah, Aina says yes, intense. Aina says yes, passionate Scorpio, Moon Libra, Virgo rising. I love it, Aina. Beautiful. So Sylvia says, could you enlighten me in Mars and Leo in my 11th house? Yes, I would love to enlighten you. So Mars and Leo in the 11th house again, 11th house is interesting. It's about cosmic connections, I would say, significant connections going on. I would say if there's things going on in your 11th house and you are just meeting someone or you're going on a specific trip with someone that's meaningful to you, and be surprised if that stuff comes up in your 11th house. But it could also be, again, just cosmic connections. It could also be work cosmic connections. With Leo in your 11th house, it's just a very, again, Leo's the sign of, I have arrived. I have arrived. So that's a very auspicious, for the 11th house to be in Leo, it's very much, I am here. I have arrived within my work, within my society, within my wishes. I know who I am. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I want. And then Mars, very like, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get what I want. I wouldn't be surprised if Sylvia, if you are a very great manifester. Like if you think of something and you dream of it and you want it and then you go for it, I would not be surprised, depending on what the conversations are happening with other planets in your chart. But yes, that's what's happening. Thanks for the info on the Saturn return, says Alexandra. I'm in the middle of it too, just started therapy, but I'm scared I'm going to miss out on the lessons of Saturn return. Oh, trust me, Alexandra. Saturn is very good. You know when the Lion King movie? And Rafiki came with like the stick and he like hit Simba on the head and he was like, ow, that hurt. He's like, what does it matter? It's in the past. That's Saturn. Saturn, trust me, you will not miss your lessons. You will not miss your lessons. It will be very obvious. I think what people and what you're referring to, Alexandra, is, there's this theme of if you don't learn the lessons of your Saturn return, then you're going to repeat it in another 30 years and then it's going to be worse. I've heard that. I think what that means is when you are 30 and you're avoiding adulthood and adulting, it becomes much harder when you're 60 and becomes even harder when you're 80. So the mature lessons that one must learn when they're in their 30s, they do have to take with them for the rest of their life. And it's that coming of age. And it's hard. Saturn is the lesson. It's not meant to be easy, but it's meant to be taking on the world and living fully and being able to live authentically and truthfully. I love Capricorn energy right now. I love Saturn energy right now. I love working with lessons. I love working with tangible stuff. I'm like, tell me what I need to do. I used to be in my teenage years very close with water signs, and I didn't really understand earth signs because I was like fire, water. I'm like very like passionate and emotional, and the earth signs were very grounded. And then it was post college years, I started getting really connected with earth signs, and it became closer and closer to, I needed a bit more grounding. Especially with my Saturn return getting closer to Aquarius, which was an air sign and very about innovation and outside thinking and technology and humanitarian work and being of service. And that's also quite significant to have earth signs in your life to ground you down. That's nice. So this is the earth season. Please enjoy it. Kiana, I learned it this last year. I'm done. April says, I forget how much Scorpio I have in my chart. I have rising Mars and Neptune in Scorpio. Ooh, Neptune and Scorpio also, again, little like, you're very intuitive, April, very intuitive. Yes. Davina says, I have Saturn in my first house. The lessons on the self. But I also feel, and I'm going to say, Daviana, I'm going to say it's Daviana. I would also say, Daviana, that this is the energy, or you hold the energy, if it's Saturn in your first house, depending on the conversations it's having with other planets, but just Saturn in the first house is you're the person that people go to for the advice. I think I wouldn't be surprised, depending on what your sign is or your rising sign, I would not be surprised if you're the more grounded, responsible person, because it is your first house. And that, oh, Libra. So, ooh, very high. Okay. You like to take the high road. You like to do the best thing for when it comes to balance and your responsibility. You love to balance. You have to love balance, the idea of balance. Oh, I love that. I actually love that for you as a Libra, because Libras have to learn about balancing life, being in balance. And Saturn's in your first house is like, well, how you have to pay attention to that. How are we going to be in balance? Like, look at the lessons, look at the truth. And yes, so it's always, you're better. I think you're better at it than most Libras, because Saturn's helping you along, like, learn the lessons. And thank you so much for your donations, guys. Thank you, April. Yes, feel free to donate. For anyone who has donated and wants me to ask anything particular about their chart, let me know. I'm very good at that as well. And you may answer that for someone else. And sorry if I honey trap you, because I always start, it's always like these things are new. And so it begins as like something where I'm like, yeah, let me know. And then slowly it gets more and more. And I'm like, okay, donators first. And then, but for now you can ask me, because we didn't have many donators, but let me know if you donated, and then I can share with you. Sophia says, I'm a Capricorn. I do not know my rising sign. Do you know the time you're born and location, Sophia? And if you don't, that's totally okay. You can go. So I'm learning more about those who may have been adopted, or those whose parents or their reasons where they will never know the time they were born. Even, my husband, his mom was a very young mother, so she had to unfortunately be put in a coma. So there's always this skepticism of what time he was born. His grandmother says one time, his aunt who's like, no, I held him at this time, which is really hilarious. But yes, it's definitely in the morning. So if you can kind of get the time, Sophia, yes. Okay, so what you do is you go on astroseek.com. That's my favorite tool to use. Or you could do the Chani Nicholas app, or the Astrology, or any birth chart, but you could do free birth chart. I like to use the whole sign system, but again, that's too much. They'll give you an idea of where your rising, or what your rising sign is, what your moon is, and then you can go from there. All right, I saw someone had a question. Hey, thank you for sharing your gifts. Thank you, Sunrisa. Any words about descendant in Aquarius as we enter this time? Libra sun, Leo rising. Descendant in Aquarius. Oh, and then there's Pluto. Descendant, again, it's that release, right? It's that I'm releasing. So ascendant versus descendant. Let's break that down. Imagine the galaxy is like a giant pizza pie. Ascendant is usually where you're, again, it's more like a north node, right? Where you're heading to, your ambitions, your goals. Sometimes your ascendant can be in your first house or your 10th house. That being said, the descendant is the opposite. So the opposite side of the pizza. It's all about what you're releasing, your past life karma, what you're learning. With Aquarius and Pluto, I feel there is more of a transformation happening when it comes to the things you're letting go of. Depending on where Aquarius is in your chart or what house it is, that is that energy of I am going to release, really release whatever doesn't serve me. There's some karmic things happening there, some past life stuff. And what I mean by past life stuff, it doesn't necessarily, depending on if you believe in past lives or not, it could be, past lives as in your spirit soul journey through this universe and the lessons from it, or can simply be, things that your parents may have done or themes within your past or your youth. So there is some lessons that need to be released, and those things allow you to transform in an innovative, humanitarian way. There's something deep about that. There's something very deep about that. So thank you for sharing that. That's pretty powerful. Yeah, descendant in Aquarius. Yeah, that's very deep, Sonrisa. I also wouldn't be surprised if with the descendant in Aquarius, you're either sick of politics or you're totally into it and you're like, I wanna go join a revolution somewhere. So let me know if you recognize that or resonate with that, Sonrisa. All right. Kiana, thank you. Oh, Kiana says Bethany. Bethany says, Kiana, that's why you're the queen. Oh, beautiful. I love it. I love that you guys are checking in with each other. Sophia says, I'm a Capricorn. I don't know my rising sign. We got to that. Melanie says, my husband's birth certificate has no time listed on it. Sometimes it happens. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Melanie. Yeah. Lady Lou says, is there anything Libras should be looking out for this month? I would actually say this is a break for Libras this month. There's not, let me just double check what's happening within Libra as I pull out my chart. Where is Libra? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Libra, I mean, the South Node is leaving. No more lessons for you, Libra. Lilith is in your sign. But for this particular month, no, Libras can chill. It's a good month for Libras. I would say this is more of a month for Aries, Cancers, Capricorns, Aquarius, because Pluto's happening in your chart, and Pisces. That's what I see for you guys. So yes, that is what's going on. I don't really see significant things happening for Libra, but guys, I could be wrong and I'm always learning. So let me know if you were like, well, an astrologer said this is happening. So please let me know, because there's so much within the stars. But yeah. Brad, thank you. I didn't have to duck to miss out. I did have to duck in and out to miss. Didn't have to duck to miss a lot of that. Still quite enlightening and enjoyable. Thank you, Brad. Thank you for joining, Brad. Okay. Sonrisa says, LOL, leaving politics. Oh, interesting, Sonrisa. Okay, so there you go. So yeah, I would say the ideology that Aquarius have, it's this ideology around, and I say politics just because Pluto is now, and Pluto does play around with our governments and our structures and all of that. So I'm just curious because Aquarius and its descendants. So yeah, interesting, very interesting. Lady Lou says, yay, done with life lessons. Yes, Lady Lou. Yvonne says, I had people in and out of my office. What planets or houses do I need to look up? What are the ones this month that bring chaos slash happiness. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So I wouldn't say the houses, but I would say check out these planets where Mars is in your chart or Cancer is in your chart. So if you find Cancer or Mars, that's one. Look that up. Where Capricorn is, that's number two. And I would say where your Virgo and Pisces are, because now the North and South Node are going to be moving to that. So those houses will be affected. And I would say also where the moon will be this month, that full moon on the 13th, and where it's going to be, that's chaos. So I would say where Mars in Cancer is, a little bit of chaos, possibly. But here's the thing about your charts, guys. It could be that Mars comes into Cancer and it's making a beautiful conversation with a planet in your natal chart. So what does that mean? Your natal chart is the picture that one takes of the galaxy and the exact positions or positions of the planets and stars at the moment of your birth. That's your natal chart forever and always. It kind of says a little bit about who you are or where you're going or the themes you need to learn in this lifetime. It gives you the tools. The planets happening right now are telling us the conversation of what's happening right now. But if it's making a conversation with your now chart is making a conversation with your natal chart, for example, if Mars is having a positive conversation, let's say with Jupiter in your natal chart, that could be great. You could have a great month. If the moon, which it has a little bit of chaotic energy, is making a positive conversation with another planet in your chart, maybe, I don't know, Pluto, let's say, that could be great. That could be great. So it depends on what the aspects, AKA my conversations, aspects, what's kind of going on. So I would say, yeah, look up the moon, look up where Mars is, look up where Saturn, why not? The responsibilities and lessons you have to learn. Mercury, because Mercury is doing some cool stuff. But yeah, look those up. Oh, and the North and South nodes, where that is in your chart now. Yvonne says, moon is in Virgo, no cap in my chart. Okay, very cool. Also, look up where the moon is right now. So that's a little bit more challenging. That's called a transit calculator. So if you go to astroseek.com and you see the transit calculator, it will show you the difference between your natal chart, which will be in the center pizza, the smaller baby pizza, and then the big old baby pizza. And then the planets on the outside is what's happening, and the planets on the inside is your natal chart, which stays fixed because it's that picture of what happened the moment you were born. So North Node is in Sag. That was the moment you were born. So you are currently looking at your natal chart, Yvonne. So that is a beautiful introduction of kind of your North Node is in Sagittarius, how you go about things, your passion, your energy, adventure and travel and freedom and independence. That's very Sagittarius energy. Bridget says, moon is in the 6th house. You're a nurturer when it comes to your daily schedule and how you are of service, more intuitive. You like to take things a bit more emotionally aware, I would say. I would also say I would not be surprised again. It reminds me of that Cancer, because Cancer and the moon are very similar. That Cancerian energy of the moon and nurture and your home and wellness. And no wonder you're here, Bridget, because moon in the 6th house is all about wellness and feeling that wellness energy. You guys are like, Pisces and Jupiter, moon. Okay, I'll take a couple of more. And then Pisces and Jupiter and Cancer and Mars. Okay, so and Bethany says, still thinking about Rafiki and who can tap on the head. Yes, Bethany. So Yvonne, Pisces and Jupiter within your natal chart, I believe that's what you're looking at. Jupiter is the planet of abundance and expansion. Do you know what house Jupiter happens to be in, like the number of the house? Because then I can give you even more. But Jupiter and Pisces, I would say they're good with each other, Jupiter and Pisces. I wouldn't say they're like Sagittarius and Jupiter, which they're like soulmates together, But Pisces and Jupiter, I think it feels very exalted, more exalted. And I love the idea of again, expansion in an emotional way, putting all your cards on the table. I think it's also an authentic way, a spiritual way. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, Yvonne, if you had a desire at one. Oh, in the eighth house. Yeah, that's about rebirth. Ooh, that's deep. Yvonne, did you ever spend time in an ashram or had a desire to? Because that's that energy I'm getting. It's very intuitive, or like you were a high priestess in a past life or something. Very witchy. And Jupiter is all about expanding in that realm of intuition, emotions, maybe a therapist. Yeah, in the eighth house. Eighth house is about the taboo things, Phoenix rising from the ashes, soul contracts, again, taboo subjects that I can't mention just in case the kitties are around. And I don't mean the cats, but the babies. Yvonne says, witchy here and working in mental health. There you go. Jupiter and Pisces in the eighth house. Welcome. Yeah, that's so cool. I love how that resonates. Well, with that, guys, here we are. Stephanie says, oh my gosh, Aquarius sun, Virgo moon, Sag rising, Venus Capricorn. So you're going to have a great time as Venus enters Capricorn, or Venus conjoins, I should say, Venus conjoins Saturn, Stephanie. I think that's going to be a great time, January 13th for you. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I love to spend time in an ashram, probably did in another life, says Melanie. Yeah, yeah. I think I've come to a point, I think in my 20s, I wanted to spend time in an ashram. Now I've entered a point in life where I would like to visit an ashram and maybe stay somewhere very nice nearby and then go in and out. I'm over. I've officially accepted, and forgive that little calendar notification. I officially have accepted that I think I'm leaning into my bougie adult self, where I'm like, I don't know if I want to go camping. I don't know. I don't know. Ashrams, they're very, very simple, very beautiful spaces. But again, I think I was more in my 20s, and now that I'm hitting my 30s, I want to just be with my husband and visit the ashram daily, and then go to like my tub and maybe like my own bed and my own couch. And ashrams, sometimes you tend to share rooms as well. So that's where I'm at right now. But I feel like if you are in your 30s and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to an ashram, you're too bougie for me, stop it. Then yes, take advantage, because I think it's gonna be a great experience. Um, yes, everyone says looking forward to January the 13th. Yeah. So with that, guys, yeah, and Melanie also says my spine might need a hotel bed. Yep. Yeah. So we are the bougie ones, and that's okay. So with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and release you. I thank you so much for joining me, for chatting with me on this live, for your questions. I think your questions help other people. And I hope that it inspired you to kind of look at the stars and learn a little bit of astrology for yourself, and see what's going on and see what's happening in the conversations that are happening. So I will be back, and thank you again for your donations. And I will be back for a tarot card reading this Wednesday for abundance messages when it comes to career, relationships, and personal growth, abundance messages for 2025. So feel free to join me in that tarot card reading. You rock too, Melanie. Thank you so much. No, you are not, Melanie. You are perfect. You are exactly where you need to be. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Yvonne. I'm happy you feel lighter. All right. I will let you guys go. Have an amazing rest of your day or night or afternoon. Bye for now. And thank you so much for joining me on this live. Hopefully you learned something. I'll edit it. I will edit the video and make it a little bit more astro friendly for you guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Let me know how you found the class in the comments. Feel free to subscribe if you want more content like this. And I will see you later. Bye for now.